I'm Daphne from Daps Makeup, here to give you the quick tea on luxury makeup, and today we are talking about the Armani Bronzer. Look at this. She is gorgeous, she is huge, she's here. Okay, I'll open it up so you can see her. And I have used her now several times. So I've already dipped my brush into this several times. And of course, I have it on now. So if I'm looking bronzing, if I look bronze, you know why. You know why. So don't worry, I'm going to give you all the deets on this, but I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to go straight into a demo video. You're going to see me as I applied it on today. So you'll see an application, real time. When you come back, I'm going to do, we're going to have a swatch party. I brought a bag full of, literally like a dozen bronzers. I pulled out every bronzer I could find in my collection. We'll do swatches to do some swatch comparison. I will give you my overall thoughts on the bronzers. I'll give you the deets on, the product information and everything like that. So watch the video and then we will talk. See you in a minute. All right, so we're going to be using the Armani Beauty Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder in the deepest shade 120. This is not my first time using it. I've actually been using it several times. It's just my first time doing it on camera for you guys. I did already my base makeup, Chanel foundation, concealer, powder. I did use the new Mario bronzing serum to bronze, but it's very a light bronze, but I always use some type of normal cream bronzer contour beneath my powder. So this is my normal routine. So it did bronze me a little bit, but I didn't go too crazy with it. Otherwise, I have nothing else on my cheek, no blush, no highlighter or anything like that. So we will go ahead and apply this, right? This is what it looks like. In person, it does look a little bit deeper. The light is gonna make it look lighter. But yeah, I'm using my go-to. This is the Sonia G Niji Pro. This is what I use with all my bronzers. So this is no different. So just going in, plenty of product, plenty of space. I don't know if you can even appreciate it on the brush, but so there is the bronzer. No bronzer, bronzer. Lower. And there we go. No bronzer, bronzer. So I hope you can appreciate the difference. Bronzer side, no bronzer. I will even, switching to another Sonia G brush. This is the T16. There's one of those limited brush. Let's try kind of nose contouring a little bit. Right. So once again, I hope you can appreciate bronzer here, here, and here versus nothing on this side. So I think you can appreciate it. So it does work for my skin tone and it is a beautiful finish. So I'll go ahead and do the other side. And just bring that beautiful bronzing action to the face. And does work for nose contouring as well. Here's a close-up of the bronzer once again. All right, here's the finished look. I try to keep the blush and highlighter very natural, allow the bronzer, to stay prominent. So I hope you can appreciate the bronziness, the radiance, the glow to my whole look. So yeah, hope you appreciate the demo. Now let's sit down and really talk. All right, so I hope you found that demo video helpful. Back again, so here is the packaging so you can see it one more time. Nice and round. As you can see, it's pretty big. I can cover basically my whole face. This thing is huge. It has 18 grams. So she's not cheap, of course, because this is luxury. She is $58. $58. Now, originally, this was a Nordstrom exclusive. I did buy it from Nordstrom. But actually now at this point, because it's been out for a while, I know I'm late to this, but now it looks like it's pretty much at all the major retailers, the Sephora's, Neiman's, Bloomingdale's, all of that. So now you're not limited to just Nordstrom, but Nordstrom had it for a while, like I feel like weeks, maybe even a month ahead of everybody else. So initially it was a Nordstrom exclusive, but now it's open to everywhere else. You get a good size mirror. So she's not cheap, but you get a lot of products. Obviously, she is gorgeous. And I apologize if you hear any background noises. My children are here. Spring break has officially started. Pray for me. Pray for me. All right, let's do some swatch comparisons. So let us swatch this one first. All right. You can see it there on my finger. And you can kind of see it is radiant in terms of the finish. I'm not giving you the finger. I'm sorry, I'm going to be swatching like this. Hopefully you can see that against my skin tone. And this is the deepest shade. I hope you can see the swatch. Come on, focus. Against my skin tone. Part of me wants to do the inside. You would see my inside forehead better, but it's just easier to show on the outer. So hopefully I made a lot of room because I got a lot of swatches to compare to. So the next two are going to be my top two bronzers, the ones that I use most. And it is from Dior and Victoria Beckham. And as you can see, yep, you can tell, you can see the same thing with Dior. I've hit pan with these. These are my two most beloved bronzers. So here's the Victoria Beckham. Like I said, I am the deepest shade typically in every bronzer. So just know whatever I'm swatching, it's usually the deepest shade. So it looks like from the swatch that Victoria Beckham is deeper. And I hope you can feel like it's more of a matte formula. All right. Now let's compare to Dior. Told you, my most beloved bronzer, so I've hit pan, and yes, I will use this till this rim is completely gone. Don't care. I will use it to the end and then repurchase. You know, and swatches can only tell you so much, but so you know, Dior is is a little bit more cooler, so I get a little bit more of a bronzer action. Victoria Beckham is more warmer, redder, and then you can see the Armani. Let's keep going. All right, now we're going to go into the category of my most recent bronzer. So this one I have done a review, so I'll put a link for the review for the YSL. And if you remember this one, I was almost tempted to almost return it. I didn't. But this is a very natural bronzer on me. It's not as deep. It works. I usually do when I'm doing a more natural look. But, you know, they definitely need to make deeper shades. So hopefully you can appreciate this. But this is lighter than the other one. So it works, but it just works. All right, here we go for the next one. All right, we're moving on to Chanel. I have both trios. So I'm just going to swatch just the bronzers. So this is the warmer of the two. This was deep, what was this one? Deep Rose Gold. This is Deep Rose Gold. So I'm going to swatch this one. Okay, so it's warmer than YSL. Is Deep Mauve, and you can already see in the pan. This one's deep. This one is deep, and this is a bronzer. This gives you some definitely contour action with this one. So let's do that next. So as you can see, it is the deepest. This one, it might not have swatched well, but this it really does show up well on me. So, but yeah, Deep Rose Gold is warmer, and then Deep Mauve is not only deeper, but also more contour, more cool toned. All right, let's keep going. All right, so we did two Chanel's, so now let's do two Pat McGraths. So same thing where one is gonna be a little bit lighter, more warmer, and then another one's gonna be a little bit more deeper and cooler. So I'll start with the light one first. This is one that I've always reserved just for lighter looks, because this is definitely, it shows up, but it's not super deep on me, and it's very natural and very warm, red leaning. So you can definitely see it's more red tone, more natural. And then the next one is Bronze Mahogany. So this one, you can already see in the pan, is definitely deeper and cooler. So more reminiscent of Chanel, but still not as deep. Nothing beats Chanel. And it's crazy to say Chanel, that Chanel has the deepest bronzer. Crazy that I would ever say that about Chanel. All right, we're gonna keep going. We're down to 4. We're down to 4, so we're almost there. Gucci. Packaging is everything. This I consider very red bronzer, on me at least. It leans red. There you go. So definitely warmer, more red, so you can tell the difference there. So you're kind of getting the pattern. All right, got 3 more. Talk about big and round like the Armani. It is Charlotte Tilbury. And this one, you get a good amount. How much product is in this one? 16.6. So I told you that Armani is actually still 18. So I think Armani is the biggest, but this would be the closest to the Armani. So we're going to swatch this one. You get lots of product. And she provides some good depth on this one. I don't know if it's going to swatch well, but there we go. All right. 2 more. LYS. I love LYS's products in general. It always just has this triangular shape. All right. And I know I'm running out of room, but almost to the end. Sometimes swatches doesn't make you appreciate it, but it is a beautiful bronzer. Might look like, but it's not. It actually does show up well on me. One last one, an oldie, one I haven't used in a while, but used to be my absolute favorite back in the day. Be right back. I brought out a bronzer. I believe this was like the first bronzer I ever bought. Back when I was like, can I wear bronzers? I used to have like, I remember having a Sephora retailer tell me like, black people don't bronze, and it was a black person, by the way. And I was like, I was so sad. And then I went back on my own and just bought it anyway, and ended up loving it. And I've been all about bronzer since. ABH, Anastasia. It's in the shade Mahogany. You know what? I have not used, that's why it's so dusty. I have not used this in so long. But it was my first bronzer. It was my favorite bronzer. So I still have kept it. It's a good bronzer. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But obviously, I just, you know, you can see I've amassed so many other bronzers since. Probably not a great swatch. Maybe just for the hell of it, I'll just do it on the inside. Hopefully you can appreciate it better there. All right, so I know that was a lot. So you can tell, like, some of them are more red, some of them are deeper, some of them lighter, some of them are cooler. But, you know, let me swatch one more time. Yeah, and I'm going to do it on my inside forearm. Let me just swatch the Armani one more time. Conclude the swatch party with just one more swatch on the inner aspect of my forearm, just because it's lighter on my forearm. And just so once again, you can get a good sense of what the Armani looks like. So that is the Armani. And I think this is a gorgeous shade where it's not too red, but it's definitely a bronzer, because I definitely have ones that are more contour. So it's not my coolest bronzer. It's not my reddest bronzer. So it's somewhere nice in the middle, which is good. So it has a nice balance, right? And what I would say about this one that you may or may not appreciate from the swatch, I hope so, this finish has a more radiant finish. And there's no sparkles in it. Not like it's like obnoxiously glowy or anything like that. I think it's done in a very sophisticated way. But my bronziness, I feel like I'm glowing. Now, I did use a glowy foundation, but nevertheless, I'm telling you, because I've used it with matte foundations too, but I feel like there has a sophisticated, it is called Luminous Silk bronzing powder. You know, they have a whole Luminous Silk line. So in that vein, this has a more radiant finish. So it's definitely providing bronzing action. I feel the warmth that is brought to my face. And is doing it in a way that is radiant. So I love this bronzer. And I feel like even amongst all the bronzers I have, and I clearly have a lot, or maybe too much, but I feel like it has a place. that it is different from the ones that I own, and it has a place. And yeah, I actually love it. I wanted to double check and just read the description, but they describe it as ultra creamy bronzing powder infused with caring oils for smooth, even application with a luminous sun-kissed finish. I agree with all of that. Yeah, like compared to some of the other bronzers that I showed you, it's not as powdery like the other ones. Not that I'm getting a lot of kickback or anything like that, but a lot of my other ones you can tell it's more powder based, where this, and not that this is a cream, but it is more of a creamier powder. It doesn't feel like a cream, but just you can just tell, you know, the formula is different than a lot of other traditional bronzers. It's definitely bronzing. It's definitely luminous and radiant in a very sophisticated way. So yeah, I love it. Would I recommend it? If you are my skin tone, then yes, I would recommend this. As with all bronze, I feel like pretty much almost every bronze, with a few exceptions, but pretty much every brand, whenever they come to bronzer, I always end up getting the deepest shade. And they typically will work for me. But then that also means that then people, the individuals who are deeper than me might not be able to use it. So could they go deeper? Because I have a friend who is deeper than me and it did not show up in her. So yes, they could go deeper. And I could say that for a lot of other brands, some of the brands that I already talked about here. But if you are my skin tone, then yes, I definitely think shade number 120 is a good one. So yes, I'd recommend it. So that's the end of the video. Hope you found this helpful. If you aren't already subscribed, consider subscribing to my channel. And also consider following me on Instagram if you're not already, because that is where I am the most active. I post swatches and makeups in the day, post before my YouTube videos. So if you follow me already, you would already kind of had a little bit of an idea of what I was thinking about with the product ahead of time. But otherwise, I just wish you guys a happy day. Enjoy the summer. And, you know, we'll come back together again and I'll show you the next product that has entered my makeup collection. Until then, bye.